I mean, I think this is a very 2023 is going to be a very pivotal year for China. I'm very encouraged by the government that they've moved away from zero COVID, that they have indeed started opening up again. I think that we're going to see, this is important for China. I mean, it's important for the economy that they made this move, but I think it's also important for our relations with China, because I'm one for more dialogue. It's very difficult, for example, when the United States president is not on the ground in China, right? Like, our president should be going to Beijing. They should be sitting down, having dialogue. And that's something that a lot of leaders were not able to do because of the zero COVID policy. That things are opening up again, I'm very optimistic that that's going to improve relations, because we're going to have more dialogue and more communication. But I think what I've learned, one thing here being in the United States and going to trade shows and talking with a lot of people on the ground, there's a really interesting thing is when you talk to actual businessmen, and so many of them really understand this global economy. They understand how connected we are to China, and that's why I tend to focus a little bit more on the business side. And we're never going to see eye to eye, whether it's our government policies or our beliefs in the type of government, things like that. There's always going to be differences between the U.S. and China. But, we have been building an economic relationship for well over 50 years. And I think it's important we continue to do that. And again, I'm optimistic for 2023 that we can improve that.
COVID zero has a little bit more of a mixed opinions, especially with how long it took and how sudden the opening was. So I think, there was a study by the Harvard Ash Institute before that showed that the Chinese government enjoys 90+% support from their people. This was before COVID. I don't know what it is now, but I would imagine it's still higher than most Western government support. And you really got the sense of that. And Cyrus, I'm sure when you were in China also, that a lot of people were really, really positive about their government. I think that's going to be built back up really quickly, even for the people who are like, oh, I think this COVID zero thing could have been handled better. And I feel pretty optimistic for what's coming for this new year.
Alex from the Duran.
Well, China opening up is good news for China. Good news for Russia. Very, very bad news for the European Union. Very, very bad news. Because as China opens up, it is going to suck up all of the commodities, the energy, the gas, the oil, that right now the European Union is outbidding all the countries around the world to store up on. And so China re-entering the world economy is going to really hurt the European Union in a very, very big way. And the European Union is going to have a choice. Do they continue down this path of sanctioning Russia, or do they finally pull back?